Hey, welcome to the show, Dr. David Klein of the Stages of Life Institute in Longwood, Florida. Today we've got a great topic, and matter of fact, for the rest of the week, we have the doctor on 5 days a week now. That is great, great, great. All right, I want to talk about these commercials that have the singers on, and they say the first thing you do is you hear the bang, your car's beat up, you're in a wreck. First thing to do is call 1-800, the insurance company, or 1-800 somebody, and they're going to put you in touch with a lawyer. Oh. All right? What about going to see the doctor, going to see the lawyer? What order should we go into? Because we're kind of in a cloud.
Well, here's the reality of the situation. Okay, the legal action always follows the medical action. So by putting it the other way around, things will end badly, and they usually do. So if you're at a motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, whatever it happens to be, okay, if you contact your attorney first before you get adequate, proper, and precision medical care, it's going to end very, very badly because the attorney has his interest at heart first, yours second, okay, or third, or could be fourth. But the long and short of it is the attorneys make their money by way of the medical doctors or the chiropractors, more often the case. So what they do is they send you to their doc. Okay, their doc sends you to that doc's MRI unit. And before you know it, the $10,000 coverage that you thought you had gets eaten up. And just about the time it gets to $9,200, they tell you, gee, that's everything we can do for you. It's time for you to seek medical attention. Well, now you're done, okay? Because if you have Medicare, Medicare will not cover the doctor's treatment. It gets subrogated to the motor vehicle. Very few doctors are willing to work under what's called letters of protection with the attorneys because the attorneys have screwed so many doctors so frequently that you will get blown off so fast you'll wonder. Medicare will not cover it if it's a motor vehicle accident sequelum. It is not going to happen. And the same thing is true of Cigna, Blue Cross, and the rest. It gets subrogated, you are out of luck, and it takes years to settle these cases. So getting the attorney involved first is probably the biggest mistake you're going to make. The second one might be picking a bad attorney. That's the one that they all seem to fight over. I'm the better attorney. Well, guess what? None of them can prove it, but one thing for certain is they will send you to their favorite doc, somebody that they can manipulate, and it's almost always a chiropractor. Well, guess what? Okay, you have a shot here at getting better. That's your first goal. They'll fix your car, maybe, but they probably won't touch you without having qualified medical attention. So the first thing you need to do within that 14-day period is contact your family doc. Okay, it could be your family physician. Your family doc usually knows who the better players are. Or you go to somebody that specializes in trauma. Now, who could that possibly be? But it should have an MD after the name. Why? Because you're going to get better, rounded, quality care that way. And in this state, most MDs are not allowed to own their own MRIs. They're not allowed to own their own anything. So generally speaking, they'll shop around for you. They'll get you stuff if they think you need it. Getting an MRI at the first hint of a motor vehicle accident is probably the worst thing that could happen anyway. Well, why is that? Okay, let's think this one through for a second. Okay, so you get hit from behind, okay, and you have neck pain. They do an MRI and it's negative. Okay, is that good or bad? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, because if you have issues on that MRI immediately after your accident, it may be pre-existing. So when I'm called upon, okay, to defend an insurance company in court, that's the first thing I look at and say, wait a second here, there wasn't enough time to develop a finding on an MRI, therefore this had to have been a pre-existing issue. So when you do an MRI straight out of the chute on these problems, unless you're looking at surgery, it's almost always a very bad idea. Nerve conduction velocity studies tell you more about where pain is coming from, but even there you have to time it right. It takes about 6 to 12 weeks for an MRI, an NCV to turn positive after an accident. So if you're going to do them, you do one early to demonstrate negativity and the second one to show change if it's going to be there at all. So these things are terribly, terribly important, not simply the race to run up your $10,000 PIP coverage, which should last an average physician about 2 years worth of treatment. If you go through one of these mills, it's done in 6 to 8 weeks, and you are out of luck.
Now, let me ask you this. I'm spoiled because you're my doctor. and you're well versed in
I
so
hate
many
that.
things. But let's take the average family physician. Would he be a little bit more inclined, forgive the pun, to for a trauma case, to turn you over to a doctor who specializes in trauma?
No, not at all. The family docs are well suited to do this. You walk in there, you give them a history, you tag home. Okay, as soon as you make that claim, that 14-day ticker goes away. You have to get in there and get medical attention immediately. Going to the emergency room, unless you absolutely need it, is another huge mistake. Why? Because then there's the race at the hospital to get to that $10,000 PIP. I mean, you've got all kinds of dog droppings that you can step into in this business. One of them is the attorney. The other one is the emergency room. You go to the ER, you're also likely to get hosed. Why? Because you're going to get MRIs, X-rayed out the wazoo. They're not going to find anything wrong, and pretty much your PIP is exhausted, and now you're out of luck. So the upshot of this is you can either go to your family doc if you trust the family doc's judgment, and really there's no reason not to. They know what's going on here. They may suggest the MRI only because that's the knee-jerk response, or you go to somebody, again, I hate to push my own button, but like myself, where you look at these things, and after 60,000 charts, my God, I think I've seen things once or twice. But no, you don't jump on getting MRIs out of the chute because it weakens your case more frequently than it strengthens it, and it depletes your fund. Okay, you can't buy your medicines out of the motor vehicle case and spend it on unnecessary radiology at the same time. Physical therapy is sometimes necessary, but if you do it through the chiropractor's office, it will get eaten up in 6 weeks, 8 weeks top, and now you're looking around for somebody to do it with a piece of paper that's about as worthless as your napkin. So no, you really don't want to get caught in that trap unless you want to get stuck with the bottom feeders.
Well, I know that in my case in particular, you were telling me, come and see me quickly, but then I don't want to see you again for 5 or 6 days. And I said, hey, Doc, I'm hurting. And you says, not as much as you're going to hurt next Thursday.
Yeah, well, it didn't make any sense to do it any other way. And, I've seen this movie before. Okay, there's a time when you can stop out and get your popcorn, and there's a time that you'd better be sitting in your seat. Okay, and with motor vehicle accident, as it is with other types of trauma, it takes several days before the symptoms wind up. That's really when you're going to know what's going on, not in the emergency room. You're there to make sure you didn't break your neck. Now, if you know you didn't break your neck, why are you there? You with me? If you lost consciousness, it's a really good idea to be there. But if you didn't, why did you go? And that was pretty much the way we handled it. You took a good bump when you got hit, okay? But I told you, you're going to know the real meaning of pain in about 3 days, okay? And we're going to start the medications at that time because it's like looking for a pimple coming to a head. You need to know what the symptoms are before you start addressing them. So giving you a slug of this or a shot of that or a pill of this or a pill of that isn't necessarily in your best interest. And then it's all a matter of timing until you can find the physical findings that you're expecting to emerge. Otherwise, you're wasteful of resources, and every bit of that comes out of your pocket. And for this reason, it's just a really, really bad idea to look up on billboards and see, gee, Attorney Jones got me $100,000. Okay, well, heck, did Attorney Jones make you any better? Okay, if that's just the way these things work, and you have to focus on the obvious. The obvious is that if you have an injury, you better attend that problem through a physician. The lawyer gets called in later. Why? Because as soon as you tell the adjuster from the insurance company that you're seeing an attorney, everything shuts down. This is one of the worst things that you can do. At the very least, shut up about it. You can go see your favorite attorney and then tell them that, look, I'll sign your papers, I'll do whatever, but please don't send me to your cousin, the chiro, or send me to your uncle with the MRI. Not interested. Okay, what you really want to do is to make sure that when the adjusters call you on the phone, that you don't say anything. Okay, that is key. That's the only value to an attorney early on in a case is to tell you to shut up, which, by the way, I'm doing for nothing, and I'm not doing it for contingency. You can keep the 30% right now. Just keep your mouth shut.
All right. And for all of the, not only the medical care that you get from Dr. Klein, but you can also get nutraceuticals. You can even see a esthetician. Did I say it right?
You did.
You can at the Stages of Life, Robin.
All right. Our phone number is 407-679-3337, and our website is stagesoflife.net. We're located in Longwood at 1917 Booth Circle. That's right off of I-4 and 434. And let's see, our office hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. The health store that Rob mentioned with all of our nutraceuticals is open during those office hours, but we're also on the web, as I said, at stagesoflife.net, and you can purchase your nutraceuticals at your leisure, and we will ship them to you.